Hey y'all, we're back with another episode of Hair for Jesus. It's once again Robert and Tara, and I think tonight we're going to talk a little bit about what we did this weekend and maybe kind of fill you in on what we did with our life and add some scripture in there too of how it fits in with what we did with this weekend. What?
Nothing. It's just funny how this weekend in scripture, it's just funny. Sorry.
Scripture goes with about everything that you do.
It does, but
What you?
it's just funny because some of the things that we saw this weekend,
Yeah,
it was,
we
yeah.
yeah, we prior to our being baptized and everything, we had bought some tickets to a Kid Rock and Nickelback
It was
concert.
Rock the Country.
Rock the Country.
There was Nickelback, Gavin Adcock, Kid Rock, a bunch of
Sammy
90s,
Kershaw, Mark Chestnut, Jody Messina, who
Afro Man, just throwing that out there.
Jody Messina, who
Yin Yang
I think
Twins.
that was my favorite.
Jody Messina was definitely the best.
She's got some gospel music coming out that she sang that's unreleased yet.
Y'all, she was singing.
I can't. Yeah, she sang like a bunch of her old songs, but when she got into some of her new songs that she's got coming up, um, and her gospel music that she's got coming up, she sang them songs. Those Southern people know what singing and singing is. She sang them songs.
I didn't even know that she sang Christian music, but when you knew it was good because she came out and she said, "I dare country radio to play these songs."
Oh man,
and we knew it was going to be good.
I get chills thinking about it.
She blew it out of the water. So hopefully those songs will be released soon. One of them was like, "That's not the Jesus I know," or something.
Yeah. There's a couple of them. Good. I've already got her Pandora, so whenever it loads up that she's released a new album, I'm gonna have it and I'm gonna listen to them because man, if they were anything,
fangirling over Jody Messina.
I am fanboying over Jody Messina. She was something else. Just you could just hear the power in her voice and the passion. Like you got Christian music was hard for me to get into because there's a lot of it that I know I don't want this to sound bad, but a lot of it was boring for the most part. It didn't. But,
and we're used to country. We're used to country and rock and roll and stuff. And not that there's anything wrong with country and stuff like that, but I think I first kind of helped transition you into country music. There's something on me. Sorry, y'all. We're on the porch and we live in Florida, and there was a
bugs
moth,
everywhere.
and I had PTSD. We'll get to that story in a little bit. Is my mic on? Okay. But where was I at? Something about
talking about how you turned me on to Christian music.
So the first artist that I fell in love with for Christian music is Ann Wilson. She's good. She sings duets with Lainey Wilson too. I don't know that they're related. I thought that they were sisters.
I thought they were sisters
but
too.
I don't think they are. I don't know. No. I'll have to ask her. But
they're not.
But
it was confirmed they're not.
She sings like country music, but it's Christian music. And then of course our boys got us into Forrest Frank. So Forrest Frank, we'll be jamming out to Forrest Frank.
But I think what for me was when she sang them gospel songs, like I said, she sang them. And I think there was a lot of drinking, obviously. It's Rock the Country. There's a lot of drinking, a lot of partying. But when she went to talking about her faith and then rolled into singing, it got quiet. Everybody was listening, and I had chills. It was awesome.
She definitely grabbed everybody's attention.
With Rock the Country, though, we went last year, and we met two people from, where are they from? Maryland, right? Maryland, I think? No.
I just went blank. Oh my gosh.
So what happens when you do this stuff? When you do this
we were sober.
When you do this
we were stone cold sober.
Not last year. But this year we were. I think it's Maryland.
I'm pretty sure it's Maryland. I just went blank. It's way up yonder.
Northern people. It's a cool story how we met them. So we pull up last year, first time ever going, and we get parked, and I believe they parked either right beside us or right behind us. And they was like, "Do you guys know where we go to get in?" And I said, "Nope, but we can figure it out together. Y'all want to join in with us?" And cool thing, they're a little bit older than us, but that's who we hang out with anyway. There's people older than us, but they was like, "Yeah, we'll hang out with y'all." And man, they hung out with us the whole weekend, and they became like family within like.
So if anybody that don't know us, I'm usually labeled as the chatterbox. But this thing right here can put me to shame, and we can't go anywhere. Literally nowhere. He's always finding somebody and meeting somebody. But yeah, they are, like, we love them like family. We got super close. We clicked. They came back down this year, and it was so exciting. We got to see
And
them.
then what I thought was so cool is they've obviously seen that we got saved since then. Because we've only communicated through Facebook, seeing each other's posts and stuff.
Text messages.
Text messages. You talk to them a lot more than I do. And then we can't leave out Tiana and Keith. There's our other friends that we meet there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, they see our Facebook, how we got saved and married and all this. And I shared a couple of cool stories with Gwen. She was telling me about how she's gotten stronger in her faith, and Bill too. And I just think it's cool how God brings you, brought us back together for another year. We all, even though it was a whole different, for me it was different because I've changed a lot, and her too. But I've changed a lot of my listening, what I listen to, and then I sat there and listened to a lot of the songs they were playing, and realized just how bad some of those songs were that I used to sing word for word. And I was like,
we had no business listening to Yin Yang
No.
Twins and Afro Man when we were in
Kid
middle school,
Rock and Nickelback.
that's all I got to say about
They
that.
all got
And
some
we
bad
were
songs.
we were laughing our heads off because we're like, we listened to this. I knew that's plumb shameful.
We still had a good time.
I knew
Still made a good time.
Afro Man, Colt 45 word for word, I
Yeah.
think in like 8th grade.
I still know it word for word.
Didn't know what half of it meant. I will point that out, but I knew it.
Yeah, and
there's that.
Just hearing all the
My mama didn't know.
You really point out how much vulgar words are in a lot of their music, and it was crazy. I mean, for me, I still had a good time, still had a blast. I don't know that that's something I'd want to. I'd only want to go do it again to see our friends, Bill and Glenn. They are.
It is, yeah.
Cool,
and I mean, it's still fun, But I will tell you, it's kind of like what he was saying is, when you go to a concert festival sober, it changes your whole perspective. If you want some really good entertainment, you don't even have to listen to the music. Just go to a country concert festival sober. Yeah. But just prepare, because whenever you get done, you're going to have to do a lot of praying because you spent the whole weekend. Oh no, we was judging. We was judging. You was judging as hard as I was.
I was trying not to. Just some of the stuff people wear. But
my eyebrows had cramps by the end.
Like it says in the Bible, one day we're going to be judged the same way. So I do my best not to judge anybody anymore. And I've done a pretty good job at it. Just like I've done my best to change what I listen to. I listen to podcasts that have to do with Christianity. I listen to Christian music. I've got Braylon. I pick him up, our boy. I pick him up and bring him home every day, and it's pretty cool. Listen to him in the background. He'll go to singing, and he'll sing them word for word, and it makes you happy when they're singing that stuff, and not singing what I was listening to back then. But just the vulgarness was the main thing that I thought about the whole time. The cussing. There's a lot of cussing in a lot of those songs, and I guess I never really realized it till I listened to them in depth like that.
Well, I think it's just people used to. I mean, first of all, let's just get one thing straight. Like, we're not perfect. We still cuss sometimes. We have done a really good job of lowering that down, but sometimes accidentally it just comes out. And it's kind of funny that we bring this up because Pastor Billy Keith at our church, Rafter Cross, did a big sermon, a big message on this the other day, and was like, yes, we slip up. However, that shouldn't be our first go-to is to say a cuss word. And I don't know if he meant to call me out the whole time during church, but thanks for that, Mr. Billy Keith. No, but like, it's really not that bad. But sentence enhancers, I think, is what a lot of people kind of look to them as. Because, if you think about it, like if you're yelling at somebody, it just sounds a lot more seasoned when you're throwing some cuss words in there. But it definitely does change like Kid Rock. I love Kid Rock. I grew up on him, love his music. I love how he is he doesn't give a crap about what the like the media people say. He's going to do his thing. He believes in his thing. He's a huge patriot. Does a little much at times, but it was kind of funny because listening to the concert, I was so excited to see him in concert again, and he always puts on a phenomenal show. But it was hard to sing along because I was trying not to say some of the stuff
Yeah,
that he was saying.
that was my biggest thing, and it led me this week to look. I got my phone over here, so that's why I keep peeking at.
Is
But
that fan on?
I think they died. Or
Of course
one
they
of them did. But here, you can try this one. Hopefully, it won't drown out the volume.
It shouldn't.
We got fans that try to keep the bugs off of us. But I turn it on the lower volume. The lower.
It's not a radio, honey. This ain't volume.
Lower.
It's a
Power setting. But Proverbs 19:8 was one that I came up with, or that I came to. Proverbs 19 verse 21.
He didn't do his Hooked on Phonics this week.
Yeah,
y'all.
and it says the tongue has power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Pretty much stating, that your word, it carries a lot of weight, and what comes out of your mouth means a lot. And you can either, I don't know, you can either build somebody up with what you say or tear them down. And the Bible, it wants you to build people up. It don't want you to tear anybody down. And our words can tear people down fast. And then
I've always said
you throw
that
cussing in there,
I'd rather
it's even worse.
You can break bones, broken bones heal. You can go to the hospital, get a shot of Dilaudid for a broken bone, but a broken spirit doesn't heal as easy. So I think people don't realize how much power their words have in them. But it definitely, there's a lot of verses that talk about how
there was another good one. You can keep going. I'm just going to find
there's a lot of
one.
power in words, and like you said, we're supposed to build people up. We're not supposed to tear people down. Unless, which was hard this weekend because
it was. I mean, and it really was because we're human. We have eyes. We see what we seen. It was a lot to take in.
And just to clarify, because I say we were sober and stuff, we wasn't tore up from the floor up last year. But I mean, we had a few beers.
It was so hot.
It was
just like this year.
We almost died. People had kids. I don't know how they survived anyway. So, but we had a few beers. We were dancing, having a good time. We were drinking. Everything was fine. We didn't do nothing bad, like I said. But it was just definitely a lot different. And when you're sitting back and when
somebody highlighted this one and highlighted it so dark I can't hardly read it.
When you're seeing how some people are acting and the way that some people are doing and stuff like that, it's just dang, this is a big. It kind of makes you scared because that. I'm telling y'all, that place got scary. When Hank Williams Jr. was there, when he came out, I've never seen so many people in my life, and it definitely was not an appropriate place for children or anything like that because it was scary. It was crowded. There was beer cans being launched everywhere. Literally cannonballs. It was insane. And
it's
of course it was kind of comical because there was people mud surfing because we got caught in rain. It was fun. But
we made the best.
Our perspective was different. Yeah. We had a blast. We still had a good time.
That's the best way to put it, is our perspective was different from last year when we were still drinking, having a good time, to now really trying to dial in our faith. You just look at things differently, and that was one of them that we looked at.
Yeah, it was just did we use sack like that?
We did.
I mean,
not that bad.
To an extent.
Some of them people.
I still wore more clothes than a lot of the other girls out there wore.
I can't hardly read some of that, so I'm just going. I wrote it down, but somebody highlighted it pretty deep in our book.
Murder.
But but in Matthew, if you go to 5:22, it says, "Whoever says you fool will be danger of hellfire." So it's not just about the profanity in itself.
What book is it?
Matthew 5:22. It's 21.
I know, but that's not. But I tell you that anyone who is angry with an apprentice. Oh. Yeah. Well, we're not going to read that one because that calls me out too. So we're just going
to. Yeah. You don't. It's not necessarily always just cussing, like she was saying earlier. But it's you don't want to tear people down. You don't want to. You just don't want to. I don't know how to explain it that well. I guess.
I struggle with this because
It's funny.
I'm the type of person, everybody's thinking it, but I'm going to say it. And it also says in the Bible, before y'all come at me, I know that a wise woman does not speak her feelings. I'm aware. I get it. I'm okay. But I'm a work in progress. I've done told y'all. So
we'll be a work in progress till the day we die.
Yeah, well, like I said, if all I'm saying is I struggle with this a lot because, you're not supposed to judge people. But I feel like there's a difference in judging someone and calling them out on something. Like I have a very deep emotion for anyone that mistreats or harms children. Like some of these people having kids, but you got to have a license to fish. I ain't figured it out. Yeah. And he gets on to me because he's like, babe, you're not supposed to do it. Listen, I'm not judging. All I'm saying is if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it is not a buffalo. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. And all I'm saying is if it's clear that you're putting your child in danger and being irresponsible, then I'm going to say you're an irresponsible parent. I don't know. I don't think that's biblical. It's probably not. But
no, because at the end of the day, we need to pray for people like that.
I'm still going to pray for them, but I'm going to call them out on their mess too. Again, work in progress. He gets on to me all the time.
Just like she used to get on to me because you started digging a little bit into your face before I did, but you used to get on to me.
I did it for a long time.
For cussing all the time. And now I feel like it's swapped. Like I do.
First of all,
they swapped that bad. I don't hardly cuss anymore. But once in a while, you get fired up and.
What is this attack? I didn't know. That today's episode was call Tara out day. I didn't realize that's what day it was.
The other version of calling poop, that word might slip out every once in a while.
Did you keep a list?
No.
Okay, so we're speaking of me cussing since today is calling out Tara Day. I didn't know it was a national holiday. Y'all didn't tell me. I spent a lot of time talking to God this week.
That's good.
After all the judgment I was doing this weekend, some of it was very righteous, but Lord forgive me, but some of them girls needed. We
got to stay in our praying and in our faith.
Well, we definitely do, because like I said, we've already told y'all that like we're not preachers, we're not teachers, we're just Hot Mess Express having a good time on the YouTube.
And we're hoping that 2 years from now, y'all could come back and look at this video and be like, wow, look how much they've changed. That was our whole goal from the start of this, was to document not only us be able to get to sit down and do this and with each other, but to document our faith as we grow. So we might slip up and say some silly stuff now, but as we get, we just want to be able to, in a year or 2 years or however long however long we do this for, hopefully we do it for a long, long time, but be able to come back and look and say, look how far we came from this video to
there it goes.
Our 107th video or whatever,
So back to my story. Summer, I finally got done with my exams. Praise the Lord. I passed my classes for second semester of nursing school with B+ in both classes. I'm pretty upset that they wasn't A's. But anyway, so I'm drained, y'all.
B's get degrees.
So I work. We have boys. I'm in nursing school, trying to be a housewife at the same time. I'm tired. So I said, after my exams, when I get home, I'm sleeping. Like the boys are going to school and I'm legit just going to die in bed. So I was taking me a nap and I felt so refreshed, y'all. And I woke up, and you ever had that feeling that you're being watched? And I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know that the part of Florida that we live in is actually Jurassic Park. So, so I happened to look up, and in the corner of our bedroom, between me and the door, you lie like a rug. We in here talking about the Bible. You over here telling lies. Lord help me. There was a
little bitty spider.
No. There was a camel spider on the ceiling.
It's called a wolf spider.
No, that was a werewolf. That wasn't no dang wolf.
Werewolf
Don't make me cuss
spider,
on national TV.
That was a werewolf.
No,
spider.
it wasn't. No, it was a werewolf. That heifer was. It was so big, I was finna ask her where she got her lashes done because I could see her blink. So the fear that ran through my body was like nothing I've ever felt in my life. And I was trying to decide if I was just going to bust the window out or if I was going to call 911 or if I was going to try to make it to the door. I didn't know what to do. And I'm in bed. I didn't have no bra on. I couldn't call nobody. So I'm like, what? I didn't know what to do.
You messaged me and said, hey, can you help me kill this spider out?
I texted my husband, y'all.
I'm an hour away.
The man that swore to protect me. Okay?
It was at work making money.
To protect me. I texted him and I said, I need you to come home because the house is fixing to be set on fire. And he thought I was joking. Well, I'm in Gainesville at work. I didn't ask you where you was. I don't give a crap where you are. You need to get to the house or the fire department's coming. And I ain't got a bra on and this ain't going to be cute. We're going to be on TV 20. So needless to say, I had to be the man of the house. And I had to take matters into my own hands. I broke 2 brooms in the process. And anyway, I killed the camel spider.
If y'all don't know what a wolf spider is, look him up. People that are from around here know what they are. They do get pretty big.
This was the biggest one I've ever seen.
Legs and all, they get pretty big. They get pretty big.
The words that came out of my mouth were, well, that was only 2 of them, but they was the real bad ones. Y'all, I felt so filthy. But, you know, I feel like the Lord understood because I was told a while back that like spiders and snakes, like those are the devil serpents, and it was a demon in my house. So I was trying to get him out, and it was y'all.
He was throwing demons back at him.
Yes, I was. I was fighting demons. Hey, you got to fight fire with fire. It's in here somewhere. And the best part is I'm on the phone with my best friend, and my nephews are in the background. So then I felt real bad. I had to apologize to my poor nephews. I had to talk to the Lord. I felt filthy.
Moral of the story is it happens. You're going to slip up.
Moral of the story is Robert's calling me out, but yet he's in his 90-day probationary period and already broke a vow.
Hey, I was at work. Had to make some money. That way you can buy some more Raid, I guess. I got to buy another broom.
And that was a really good broom.
You broke our broom.
It wasn't no cheap broom either.
We took all the carpet out of our house, so a vacuum really doesn't, unless you got one of the fancy ones. We ain't got.
Yes, we do.
I mean, we
got the rainbow.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, your mama talking about sucking him up with a vacuum. Why? So I can have to. He's gonna be in the tank. And I got to empty him out. He's gonna jump. No, y'all, it was bad. So anyway, that's why I got PTSD. One of the reasons, and that was also a funny story because I said ugly word I hadn't said in a really long time.
You don't slip up. Yeah, so we all slip up.
Yes, but like I said, I feel like that was forgiven because if the Lord would have seen the size of that spider.
When you give your life to Jesus, it's forgiven.
Yeah, especially when there's a camel spider in your house.
You can't take that the wrong way, though. Like, you can just go back to just doing whatever you want. No, it's all going to be forgiven.
Well, as long as there's no camel spiders in my house,
I can't say that. I mean, you never know. But I feel like once you give your life to Jesus, you work your way, and we have been, and you're going to have slip-ups. You're going to have slip-ups as you're working your way into trying to become a better man, a better woman. And we just asked for forgiveness like you did after that spider tried to.
You didn't ask me for forgiveness for breaking your vows. So we don't talk about that.
I was at work. There ain't nothing I can do. Drive an hour from work.
Yeah. It was either that or come home to a flatbed trailer.
Burn it to the ground.
I mean, we got insurance. I'll get me a new one.
Burn it to the ground.
No, ain't nothing wrong with this one.
But no, I mean the whole point of this show was to tell you about what we did throughout the week. Our concert. I forgot she broke our broom on a spider trying to dance with him in the bedroom, I guess. And then, but also
even Ellie ran. Our dog, she was hiding behind me, y'all.
But also explained to y'all that, you know, so how we felt about how our changes are going so far with giving our life from going to that concert over a year ago to going to it now, how much different I know for sure I felt being there, just because of how much I've changed spiritually as a person. It was a whole different concert to me. I still had a good time.
But it definitely was like, I don't know, it was definitely, it would have been better if there wasn't a bunch of drunk idiots there, I think, maybe. I don't know.
No, it would have been better if we'd have been at a Forrest Frank or...
Oh yeah, that would have been fun. But I mean, it was still good. I love Nickelback. Grew up on Nickelback. I grew up on Kid Rock. I think they're amazing. They put on a great show.
You ain't mentioning Mark Chestnut.
Okay, well, all them
Sammy
too.
Kershaw.
But they didn't cuss like Nickelback and Kid Rock.
That's why they were so good.
Well, that's true. And Jody Messina.
Jody Messina. Who else was the first night? Jody took over the whole show for me, so I forget who else even played.
He was drooling all night,
on the first
y'all.
night.
It was
just how good she was. I don't know. I got a picture on my phone.
Really? That's what you could, because of how good she was.
Yeah.
So first you abandoned me with a camel spider, and now you would love
That's all we both
talked
about. Diamond Rio was there.
Little
They
Texas,
were good.
wasn't he
Little
there?
Texas was there.
It was good. If you get the chance to go to Rock the Country, I highly suggest it. But if you go to one in Florida, you need to bring you some ice water and a poncho.
Because 1 second it's hot, the next second it's pouring rain, and
and don't take your kids. It is not an appropriate place for children at all. Like, who in the world?
Tracy Lawrence was there, but we missed him because of the rain.
Yeah,
I would have
started lightning. Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen him. It
started
lightning during
Mark
Chestnut. But man, if you like some of them old timey singers, man, they still got it. And what I told me was back in the day they didn't use auto tune because they still sound just as good as they did if you turn on that radio.
Agreed. They did.
They were good. All from Mark Chestnut, Sammy Kershaw, Diamond Rio, all of them. As their ages have gotten up, they ain't lost it. They were still jam up.
And again, we'll go ahead and clarify, just because you're going to have some peoples. We're not judging anybody for cussing. It's just, it does change your perspective whenever, and it's hard because, it's not a big deal in a sense. Like, in a sense, words are just words, but at the same time, it's not. Like, you may think they're just words, but it literally says here, like, there's so much power in your words.
Correct.
And our actions are supposed to represent God's love, grace, whatever. And whenever you're sitting here cussing and acting a fool and throwing beer cans and twerking on the stage, obviously that's not representing the Lord.
Or what we're trying to follow, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where, like, again, we're not judging nobody. We are not perfect, and I can guarantee you, if there's another camel spider in this house, it's.
But I think also too, if you look at curse words, they're all most of the time they're used to either talk bad about something or talk about something bad. For the most part, they're used in a.
They're sentence enhancers.
Yeah, in a bad way for the most part.
Yeah, like if you're mad or you're trying to express your frustration or something.
And that's why they're not.
And whenever you stop cussing, or at least for the most part, it's actually a lot easier than you think. It is kind of like breaking any other habit, but it's actually a lot easier than you think. And then you don't realize how ugly it sounds and how just trashy it sounds.
That was my whole point.
Sorry, not sorry. I know we're probably making a lot of people mad, but I was sounding very trashy the other day breaking that broom, and thank God nobody could hear me but the spider, because it wasn't very nice.
That was the whole point I was really making about the concert deal, about how my whole perspective on the concert changed from this to this in a year's time, because now I've changed what I take in, and a lot of your happiness, your sadness, it'll come from what you take in. What you take in will be what you give out, so to speak. So, like, if you're listening to all this depressing music, well, more than likely you're going to be depressed. But if you're listening to all this cussing music, more than likely that's what's going to come out of your mouth. If you're listening to Christian music, like I've been listening to, I feel like it's helped me not only mentally, but with what I say too. And it's been.
And everybody's different.
Yeah, everybody does everything.
There's some people that are going to be like, okay, y'all are idiots. We still listen to country. Like I said, we're not here judging anybody. We're just talking about, like, our experiences. This is what we're getting.
There's our YouTube video.
From these. Yeah. So quit judging. You're not supposed to judge, guys. This is our partake. This is our experiences. And we're not perfect. We're human. We're sitting on the porch with a plastic table. We don't have no
and some lawn chairs. This lawn chair is about had it. It's got a little.
Leave old Betsy alone. She's been faithful. But it's. And, like, it makes a big difference in our kids too. Like, our kids don't like to hear it.
Be right back.
Speaking of kids,
our dog doesn't know how to close the door yet, so we've been trying to teach her. I'm trying not to knock this camera over.
She acts like her daddy. But yeah, just everybody has their own thing, but everybody takes things a little bit differently. That's fine. We're not here to judge. We're just here to.
I'm on my way back.
Apparently, we're just here to What is that? This is our confession session, evidently, because
This is
every time
just
we get on here, we're confessing.
showing our growth
Yeah.
in our faith, and also giving us time to do this together, which is something that we needed.
That's so sweet.
I mean, it
You
is.
trying to earn brownie points for abandoning me?
Hmm?
You just don't care?
No, I mean,
Well, you
it's
still
what
have
it
me
is.
90-day probation. You don't really care.
That's what it is. It's something that's helped. I think it's helped us along the way. It's going to continue to help us. It'll hopefully help somebody, which I feel like when
It's fun.
this idea came through me praying, that's what it was going to do. It was going to help somebody. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at what Phil done. Phil changed his ways and left a lot of the stuff he was doing behind, and people that he hung out with 30 years ago came to him and said, "How'd you do it? I want you to baptize me." Stuff like that. That just gives me chills. It's awesome. You know, if you stick with it, he's got a plan.
Yep.
Got a plan for all of us.
You know, even if there's a camel spider.
Even if there's a spider in the house that you got to break a broom on.
Listen, all I'm saying is, and at the end of the day, no sin is greater than another, so let's just point that out. So, like, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to make excuses. But no, I mean, it happens. We're only human, and it's just funny how things change. We enjoyed the concert. It was fun. I've never seen Nickelback. That was cool seeing them. But
I think in a sense, though, that concert was good to go to, because I didn't realize how much I've changed. Like I knew that I had changed, but I didn't realize how much until I'm listening to these people that I listen to all the time. And I was like, this ain't it for me. I was like, wow. I mean, that's when you kind of. So in a sense, it was good that we went.
I feel like a bunch of old people, because we liked all the old 90s singers better than we did
the younger mention one. I like Jody Messina. She was good.
If you want to sleep on the couch, just say that. That's all you got to say. So if you guys want to tune in next week, we're going to have live footage of Robert's funeral. He don't know how to act. So.
But I think we're at a good spot to stop. I don't even know how long this one was. I've had a good time doing this one.
I don't know. It was fun.
It's been 33 minutes.
But it was, I don't know, have fun. There's another Bible verse. I wrote it down, and I don't know where my thing is.
Following this is fun. I've had a good time.
I think it's in James, but it talks about, like, there's going to be a lot of times where you stumble. And that's the whole point of us telling all this stupid, silly stuff. Was it one of the ones I had wrote down? Yeah, like, that's the whole point of us telling all this stupid, silly stuff that we do, because, like, we're just trying to show y'all. Like, we're just, we're human, we're people, it's going to happen. Normal people. You know, you just, I don't know, we just notice things a little bit different.
And just documenting our...
but yeah, I highly suggest...
Was it James 3, 9, 10? You want to find it in here? No.
It's the one that says you will stumble, something, something. But if you ever want some real good entertainment, go to a country music festival sober. You will just, so it's James 3:2. We all stumble in many ways, and God offers grace and growth. No, I can't read. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's, I think a lot of people, and I honestly feel like there's some people that's already looked at us kind of sideways, because they're like, wow, we used to hang out with Robert and Tara and get, drink beer and watch the football game together. But
y'all can do this too, man.
Now we've had doing Bible podcast thingy on the front porch with the mosquitoes in our plastic fold up.
We've had own family members that have told us to our face that this is not to our face, but over the phone, that what we're doing is silly. Well, we're going to keep being silly.
Yep. You don't have to watch it.
You don't have to watch it. Exactly.
But think of it this way. If you're laughing at us, that we made you laugh, you're welcome. Now your day's better. But I was going somewhere and I squirreled. I don't know where I was going.
I don't think James is very big. That's probably why I'm skipping over it.
We're getting better or something. I don't know.
There's James. It was 3-2.
But yeah, we're real. We're normal human beings that, we're usually pretty good. We just got to work on judging people that do certain things.
That's a good one. Go read.
And when spiders are in the house.
Go read James chapter 3. That was one of the, I meant to put more in here. Go read James chapter 3. It's called Taming the Tongue. That whole section is
Mm-hmm.
it's a good one to read about if you care about any of this, any of the cursing side of things.
Yeah.
That is a good one. That I remember. I don't know why I only put 3:2, but that whole section is a good one.
Yep.
And
Even 4, where it says submit yourselves to God. That's a good one too.
submit can be one we talk about one day too.
So,
Mr. Billy did a big thing on submitting,
yeah, it's
and
hard. It's hard to.
it's hard.
The biggest thing about, I think, submitting yourself is the surrender. I've always taken care of everything on my own. So having to completely surrender and let go, like I've always.
Might want to hold off on that one for a new episode.
Yeah, that's true. You don't want to be here all night.
I think we need to pray.
We all struggle.
Yeah.
So
I think we need to pray and wrap this one up. This one's been a good one. I've liked this one.
yeah. I'm glad you liked it. I got called out the whole time.
No, you didn't. Not the whole time.
You said you had a list of my cuss words.
Not a list. But all right, guys, we're gonna pray. We're gonna get out of here. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. That's the 3 main ones.
All the fun stuff.
We'll see you next week. But ready?
Yeah.
Lord, thank you for another afternoon of doing this, and we just hope that our words that we say are obviously for you and from you, and we don't want to tell anybody any different than what we need to say about you, Lord. And we just pray that anybody watching this is going through something, that they find help through you and get through whatever that may be. We had a couple prayer requests from the last episode I seen on the comments. I just hope that you go touch those people that left those prayer requests, that you show yourself for them, and just fix whatever they got going on, Lord. And I pray that you help us tame our tongues, help us get better about not using vulgar words, and doing a better job of speaking of you and for you, Lord. And we thank you for everything, and just keep an eye out on us. In Jesus' name, amen.
All I'm saying is Noah did not put 2 wolf spiders on the ark. He did not.